Welcome to the fourth installment in my A to Z gameplay series. My name is Utley, and I'm here to teach you how to play, or not to play, League of Legends. This installment will feature Alistar, and we're here to do nothing but get good. There are two main pages you can use for Alistar. The first goes down the inspiration tree, using Unsealed Spellbook for the reduced summoner cooldowns, mainly for your flash. Down the tree, you'll be taking perfect timing, because the stopwatch is always nice to have and useful for when dropping tower aggro and aggressive tower dives. Futures Market, this helps making buying items easier and makes your item curve much more rounded, and Cosmic Insight for all of the useful stats it provides. For the secondary tree, go into Resolve, with Iron Skin for some extra tankiness, along with Demolish for that nice turret damage. The second room page you can use is this one. You take Aftershock because with your main W, Q, Engage combo, you will proc it pretty easily, and it helps make you much more tanky without the use of your ultimate. Demolish and Iron Skin for the same reasons as stated before, and Second Wind to make sure you don't get poked out of lane. The secondary tree you will go down is Inspiration. Grab Biscuit Delivery for some extra sustain in lane, along with Futures Market once again. Now, let's go ahead and get into Alistar's abilities. His passive is Triumphant Roar. When things die around him, or when he CCs a champion, he gains a stack. At 7 stacks, he heals allies around him. His Q is Pulverize. When you press this, you knock things up around you. Next is his Headbutt. Using this, you headbutt the enemy, dashing to them and knocking them back. After Headbutt is Alistar's E, Trample. You press it, and Alistar deals damage around him. If Trample hits an enemy champion 5 times, his next basic attack will stun its target. Finally, we have Alistar's ultimate, which is Unbreakable Will. Alistar gains damage reduction for 7 seconds. An important thing to remember about this ability is that when you cast it, you cleanse yourself from all forms of CC. As far as building Alistar goes, you should aim to get a Sightstone as soon as possible. Sightstone is insanely powerful as it allows you to track the enemy team's movements and allows your team to make informed decisions around the information you give them. After Sightstone, get Moby Boots. These will help you roam around the map mid-game while keeping control of vision. After you have these items, go ahead and finish upgrading your Sightstone and Relic Shield. Then get a Knight's Vow and lock it up the Iron Solari. The next item you should get should most likely go ahead and be the Redemption, as the healing and damage it gives in teamfights can be game changing. As for your 6th slot, I personally do not build a 6th item when playing a support. I would much rather have the slots for the pink wards to ensure my team can maintain vision control throughout the entire game. Laning with Alistar is somewhat difficult when up against the poke lanes. When laning against poke lanes, it is best just to use your passive to heal up and wait on your jungler to gank since you have a strong gank assist with the amount of CC you have built into your kit. When in bot lane, pay close attention to level advantage. If you hit level 2 or level 6 before your enemy bot laners, it is always good to use your WQ combo on the carry to get some great pressure and possibly even kill them. If you happen to be up against another melee support, Alistar does pretty well against them. If it is a dive support like Leona, you can simply knock her away from your carry while still pressuring their carry. If you are up against a support like Braum or skill shot champions, make sure you stand in front of your carry to make sure they don't take damage, especially once you are 6, since with your ultimate you'll be taking a fraction of the damage. Moving on into the mid game, the best thing Alistar can do is roam around the map. His ganks mid lane are very potent, so make sure you're keeping track of the enemy team's flashes since that's the only way to escape one of your ganks. Once you get your Sightstone, make sure you swap your trinket for the red trinket to clear up any enemy wards you may come across. Make sure you're awarding objectives around 1 minute before they come up. By warding, you can award your team with free kills from the enemies trying to gain visions of the vision you have kept control of. Late game Alistar, your goal is going to be purely vision control. Make sure you have the upgraded red trinket that is available at level 9. Buy plenty of pinks and ward as much as you can. You will be looking for picks as much as possible. When teamfighting does happen though, you have two main playstyles. The first is simply dive. With Alistar's great amount of CC, he can dive onto the enemy carries and CC them while your team bursts them down. The second playstyle is that of peeling for your carries. You can just W any enemy champions who get too close away, and Q them if they come close again, along with your stun auto. Alistar is great for keeping your carries safe. Alistar's mechanics are somewhat more advanced than any champion I've covered so far. With Alistar, you can chain combo your WQ. This allows you to dash to an enemy, then knock them up without knocking them back. This is essentially a gap closer and a knockup in one combo. A more advanced combo with Alistar is Q flashing. This means you start the Q animation, then flash immediately after before the pulverize goes off. This gives the enemy very little time to react. Also, since you are not using your headbutt, you can simply walk behind them after and headbutt them into your team. Another important thing to remember is using your ult to remove CC. This allows you to soak skill shot CC for your carries and then immediately cleanse them off. As far as how difficult Alistar is to learn, he isn't terribly hard to pick up. The hardest thing about Alistar is his decision making. As long as you can keep a clear head and make smart choices, Alistar is a great champion. Making smart decisions about when to roam and when not to roam, when to engage and when not to engage, will get your team massively ahead in the mid game, snowballing the game. Alistar is good against squishy team comps. These comps would be like poke comps or comps with a lot of damage dealers. His high amount of CC and massive damage reduction allows him to get in the middle of the fight and CC all of the enemy squishies while your team just destroys them. I would avoid playing Alistar into team comps with a lot of disengage. Janna is the main disengage champ that I'm talking about, as she has a knockup which can interrupt your QW combo and a knockback, which will greatly hamper Alistar's engage abilities. I only don't rate him higher due to there being two supports that do each of his playstyles better. When it comes to diving and CCing, I feel as if Leona does a much better job, as she also gives your carries a little bit more damage to burst down anyone she is CCing. And when it comes to peeling, I feel Braum does a better job, with his shield stopping all poke damage and also being able to make your carries more tanky. Don't let this dismay you though, as Alistar can play both playstyles, and that fluidity can be massive in game. As far as Alistar's rate of fun, I'm going to rate him a 4. While I do enjoy the champion, melee supports are rough to play against in poke lanes, and generally with the popularity of poke lanes at the moment, I can't say it's the best meta, fun-wise, to play him. Now, if I'm talking about his ranked playability, I'm going to give him a 7. Right now, Alistar's pretty strong. His multiple playstyles allow him to conform into most team comps.
For now though, that is all. Thank you for watching my video. If you have any comments or suggestions, please let me know. I'll be reading all of the comments. Until next time, I'm Utley, and here's to getting good.